Tony Evans is a senior pastor at the Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship, and he joins us this morning. Nice to see you, sir. Thanks for being with us. Certainly appreciate it. What was your reaction to the president's announcement?
Well, I was disappointed. As a Christian and as a person who believes that the Bible has established clearly what marriage is supposed to be between a man and a woman, and because the reality is that the saga of a nation is really the saga of its families written large. And when you redefine the family other than what the Creator intended when he established it, then you're looking at the devolution of civilization. Separation of church and state should never mean separation of God and right. And since government is supposed to be an agency of God, and since the nation was established based on a theistic frame of reference, God should not be marginalized and put on the sideline. His authority should not be negated, and we should not take human institutions that he established, which includes government, and the foundation is the family, and redefine it at our own whim. Civil rights is not an issue here. Biblical justice is the equitable application of God's moral law in society. When you talk about racial civil rights and combine that to the redefinition of the family, God has to have a say-so on both issues. He's spoken on both issues clearly.
Far be it for me to ever argue with a pastor about God, so I'll just preface this, what I'm about to say to you, sir. But why not leave it up to God, right? At the end of the day, you could sort of leave it all up to God, and you could say, under the laws of the country, we aim for equal protection and equal rights under the law. For example, I would say, you know, the institution of marriage has changed over time. I mean, I was having this debate with Tony Perkins this morning. The institution has changed a lot over time. For women's rights, certainly, for, as you well know, rights of slaves to get married, as you well know, rights of blacks and whites to get married. So it's changed a lot. Why not leave it up to God and let man get out of it?
Because God has established what man is supposed to do, and he expects man to do it his way, not a way independently of him. And when you do things independently of him, you bear consequences that you don't want to bear. And so God is not just some ethereal spirit up there that is uninvolved. He is involved through his systems that he's established. Government is one of those systems, and government is to respect his rule, not ignore it. Because the family is the foundational institution upon which all other institutions are dependent for their ability to function properly, this issue needs to be addressed. What I don't do across my pulpit is endorse candidates. I deal with issues. So I go through all the issues, and I tell our congregation what God says about all the issues, and then I let them go into the voting booth and cast their vote.
Would you personally say, listen, I disagree, I will not vote for President Obama?
I will personally say I disagree. When I get in the voting booth, then I'll cast my vote.